Super Idol di Charo, don't need to attend by each for the
Avowed several months later. I started Avowed whenever, I guess, a little bit after it came out, because I was playing KCD2. I wanted to fish that up, and then I stopped playing because Expedition came out. I absolutely have to play it day one. Been waiting for like over a year to play that shit, but then I came back. There's like a couple new updates to the game that made it a little bit better, but like, like there's a lot of core issues with the game that you just can't fix in a month, bro. So let's see what he thinks.
What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you an update for Avowed, which just recently dropped its patch 1.5 a couple days ago from the time of this video, and seeing how that particular patch actually addressed some criticisms I had with my initial review back in February, I thought it might be a good time to just jump back into it, take a look at what has changed since.
I was definitely playing KCD2 instead, like that. Why wouldn't I, bro?
Launch and go over some future plans while we are at it. This most recent patch does things like add new abilities for the fighter and ranger tree, makes the game Steam Deck verified, alongside a host of other changes, and so we've got plenty to talk about. But to sort of start at the beginning, since Avowed's launch back in February, it has received, I would say, a generally positive reception. It certainly wasn't a blockbuster or anything.
I wouldn't say that. I feel like it was, it's 50-50, right? I mean, I guess it depends on where you are on the internet. Again, in my review, I gave the game like, did I give it like a 6, 7? I wouldn't go above a 7 though, that's for sure. Yeah, there's just like core issues with the game. Companions, the way they approach the story in some aspects, and just like, the combat, I actually kind of like the combat, right? That's the one of the main highlights of the game. But everything else, like, it's sucking off of, was it Pillars of Eternity, right? I didn't play Pillars yet, but it's in the universe, right? So it's just taking the overall lore, which I actually did like the lore. Yeah, I didn't mind the lore, but the story of the game itself, they took from Dragon Age, bro. Yeah. I mean, like, there's a lot of games that has the little format like that with the story, but again, it's just other issues culminating into the 6 out of 7 out of 10, that I gave it. So yeah.
And it seems to have landed where they expected it to, with mostly positive reviews over on Steam.
Yeah, it actually, it was a fun game to play overall. Like, I like the combat, right? I was interested in the lore too, but there's definitely issues with the game that I have.
Myself enjoyed the game, especially since I'm very fond of the world it takes place in, the world of Aora, or Pillars of Eternity, which is one of the main reasons I was personally excited for it. But even in my own review, I had a few complaints. For instance, fighter and ranger trees not being as fleshed out as magic, as an example. Things getting lost.
Yeah, it's literally just a magic tree. Like, just, if you're gonna play the game, just play as a mage or some shit. You can also, I can do what he's doing. You can give him a wand and like a Glock or some shit. But yeah, the mage tree definitely. And that's the same thing with Velgard too. What the fuck was that? It's the same thing with Velgard too, right? That they mage tree. They just put all their heart and effort into the mage tree.
In the translation from isometric CRPG to obviously more of an action adventure. But since all the way back then, they have released a variety of patches aimed a fair bit at community feedback on things that the game could improve. As an example, the typical stuff like bug fixes, quest fixes, that kind of thing. They even added arachnophobia mode as an example.
Yeah.
But I will say none of them are really what I would have considered.
Oh, it's a woke again. That's a woke mode. It's the woke mode. People said that about Grounded, I think, or just like it's really like if it don't pertain to you, just don't use it, bro. It's optional. They do this with I think Dragon Age 2, like just accessibility options, like, oh, those are woke options or something. Bro, they just some people are just scared of spiders, man. Like, it's a real thing. Like, oh, they should suck it up, they pussies.
Like a major update.
I mean,
personally. Unsurprisingly then, their
I just
first
find it
big
hilarious.
patch after the initial release, patch 1.2.3, was mostly just fixes and the like. However, it did come with a few balance changes and some adjustments really to companion AI to make them generally a bit more useful.
Oh my god,
and that
thank
was
you.
followed on from about a week later on February 27th, which was pretty much just more fixes and adjustments. Things really started to get going with patch 1.3 though. This is where they started making more
Oh, so they... Okay. So it was already in the game when I was playing. Okay. No, I thought they fixed the companions. Yeah, it's the same thing with Velguard too. I hate... I'm not saying Dragon Age the Velguard. It's not Dragon Age, bro. That's just whatever the hell it is. But yeah, the companions just not really being useful at all. I played Mass Effect 1. I didn't play any other ones, but I played it recently a couple months ago. I think they do more than, like, yeah, the companions in Avowed and Velguard. And it's not really too much that they're doing either. But yeah, it's just a...
notable changes, and this was
yeah.
in March at this point. So straight away, patch 1.3 added additional talent points, basically giving you more room to work with in terms of making your build.
Okay,
it also allowed you to adjust the heads-up display a little bit by allowing you to adjust both the opacity of it, or the transparency, as well as offering just a complete toggle for it entirely that just straight up let you turn it off. This patch also included the ability to fully customize controller keybinds, meaning that you could rebind the entire thing, or even allow you to adjust the field of view for the third-person camera mode. So some good stuff in there. After that, the next big patch was in May, a couple months later, via patch 1.4. This is also when they dropped their roadmap for the rest of the year, but patch 1.4 included things like the arachnophobia mode that I mentioned, effectively turning the spiders in the game.
Whenever a game... I mean, roadmaps are fine, but, like, you know, I just notice it with games that are, like, not the best, right? They just start having roadmaps to, like, assure the audience that they're actually doing something or whatever. Happened to Halo, happened to Overwatch, yeah.
Just into round floating orbs. This
Again,
is
like, not a bad thing, but it's just something I noticed. I'm just like, oh, okay. Not terrible.
also the patch that updated the way critters worked, allowing you to kill and loot them all. And even more, granular stuff, like the ability to wait at your party camp to cycle the day or night, which the day and night cycle was always there, and it was just, we're kind of passed really slowly
going
most of the time,
crazy.
and this allows you to, of course, just manually move that along. Some convenient stuff, like marking all of the chests on the map, smaller bits of world reactivity, like, for instance, arrows would just fall and hit the ground type of stuff. They also changed how water reacts to you hitting it. So, for instance, if you were to shoot into it, like with one of your pistols or the arquebus, it will of course splash and ripple accordingly. They increased the money rewards for main quests and even some exploration, just giving you more money.
Water, look at the water, guys. People made a whole deal about, like, you know, water in games not seeming realistic like the past 2 years. You know, AAA games got really shit. I guess now it's just like people just want the best fucking water. Okay, can we get the best fucking game? Holy shit, bro.
Overall, to work with, convenience stuff.
I don't really care too much about water and the physics, although it would be nice, right? Like, again, like, it's a nice thing to add, but it's not really at the top of my list.
Like companions getting more skill points to just be more useful in combat. And patch 1.4 also introduced a pretty large amount of fixes. Mostly tiny stuff, really, like adjusting the distance at which companions sort of stray away from you. That brings us to patch 1.5, which was the next update, which just happened on July 15th. And this is actually, I would say, the game's biggest patch.
Okay, yeah, so I didn't play with this patch. I finished Avowed in, like, May or June. I think I started Tainted Grail in, like, June or July, but yeah.
Patch to date. Kind of already went over some of that stuff, but let's start with the Steam Deck verification. I did actually check this out to see how it was playing on the Steam Deck, and while I would say that I can see why it is verified now, you get a solid frame rate, you don't have to do anything, everything is legible, etc. I did want to point out that the graphics take a huge hit here. Like, this is definitely, in a state that it could be played, but man, does the actual faces, especially on NPCs, just become a blurry mess to the point of barely being able to make out their facial features at some points, which I imagine is probably the sacrifice they had to make to get this running well and properly.
I don't even think that's that. I mean, all the faces in Avowed, they all look the same, especially the black people. I made that one video up in my review. There was this one shot. It was like 3 of the same black people, same hairstyle. It's basically the same motherfuckers in the little Wakanda fucking hairstyle that no black person never wears in public. But they just put in every video game. They all 3 of them had it in that little room. I'm just like, come on, y'all. So, like, I don't even need to know what their faces look like on the Steam Deck. I already know, you know?
So that Steam Deck
There's too many of
verification
them.
definitely came at a cost, frankly. Speaking of cost, though, probably worth a mention that looking into how this patch kind of made the game work for people, I did notice a few reports of people having issues with the patch, things like stuttering and things afterwards, etc. It doesn't seem to be particularly widespread, but definitely seemed prominent enough to point out. The second big thing patch 1.5 added is, of course, those abilities that I mentioned for the Ranger and Fighter. These were broken up into, of course, active and passive abilities. So for the Ranger, you've got the addition of things like Shadow Step, which effectively lets you teleport behind an enemy, Fan of Daggers to throw out poisoned daggers, Smoke Bomb, which utilizes some scaling off of both the damage and elemental type of your currently equipped throwable, or, you know, the grenades you're using. You can, of course, kind of use those to match up with what the Smoke Bomb is doing as an ability, which I thought was kind of neat, alongside a Frost Trap as well. Now, on the passive side of things, they get Concussive Shot, which allows you to shoot a weak spot on an enemy, which will then cause them to take...
So they added, like, 3 actual abilities.
Increased stun for melee damage if you're looking to mix up ranged and melee. Sharpshooter, which increases the weak spot damage you deal as you continue to hit the target there, and then Deadly Poison, which allows them to, of course, just deal more poison damage to enemies. Fighters, on the other hand, got things like Driving Kick, which is just a powerful kick you can do to enemies. It does break through blocks.
Okay, that looks
it
like
will
fun.
also push enemies back, and then upgrades can even cause it to do explosive area of effect damage. They've also got Barbaric Smash. If this ability kills an enemy, you absorb their current stun meter, and it then allows you to apply it to a secondary enemy. They've also got things like Deep Breath, which allows them to refund stamina, or Reviving Exhortation, which allows them to revive allies in combat, which I thought was pretty neat. And the new passives for Fighter include Dual Wield Master.
Okay, so the Fighter's got like 4.
Which gives you an upgraded attack on stunned enemies. Adrenaline, which increases the damage you deal as your health falls, on top of giving you a way to cheat death if you were to receive a killing blow. Bloodlust, which increases bleed damage on enemies. And then finally, Vanguard, which just gives you a chance to negate incoming damage outright. To go along with some of these new additional abilities and things, they've also added new unique items to every
that Shadow Step. That's beautiful.
Single area, roughly 3 to 5 per area, so there's even some new equipment to mess around with. They've also changed enemy behavior in the sense that now they...
Please be good. Please be good.
will actually use a few of your player abilities, things like Blizzard, Taunt, Tanglefoot, things like that. So basically some of the spells and abilities you have access to. And some enemies can even throw up barriers to things like physical or magic damage. They also added some quality of life stuff here as...
I like that. I like... But did they fix the because I mean, again, like, these are all good. Like, it's making me want to do another playthrough. It'd have to be on Nightmare or something. But I don't even... They probably just increased the health bars. But I mean, I'm still like, you know, I want to try out again, I guess, maybe in the future. But I don't want it to be like, you know, some of the AI, the bots were like Redfall-ish, right? Or like not even some, like a good amount, right? And they just like stand there and shit. So that's why that's what I want improved from them. Like, you know, player abilities be damned, bro. I want them to have better reactability, and shit. But yeah, this is really good. I actually Yeah, I want to do another playthrough, low key,
As
man.
well, like for instance, in the cooking menu, it will tag the things you've already cooked, which is probably very specifically to help you with the achievement for cooking everything, I would guess. They've also given you the ability
Oh yeah, the makes it you don't even have to like cook things. I didn't even know cooking was a thing. You just eat and then your health just goes up. Like you can have like small little shits. You get like so much food and like food that you don't really have to cook because they already give you enough health. Right? So there's no point in cooking in the game. Like it was just like a waste of time, in my opinion. It was pretty just eat it raw. Eat it raw dog.
to add custom map
Use a
markers,
health
which was
potion.
great. And much of the rest of it from there was really just, of course, the usual bug fixes and things like that. Now, when you pull all of that stuff together collectively, roughly 5 months since its initial launch, I think Avowed has steadily improved on a lot of aspects, especially since some of these things just straight up address criticisms that the game has received. So in that sense, they've been fairly responsive to feedback. Now, I will say I still don't love the $70 price tag at the same time.
Yeah.
But that aside, let's talk.
This is more of like a $50 game, in my opinion. Yeah, just a not too much, not too little, and just a good $50 tag. I do wish they added the abilities like sooner in the game for those trees. But I mean, they're doing Vilgard don't even got a team. I don't know why I keep referencing them. They can't add anything to the game. The game is just done. Yeah, they only updated the game for like since the release for like a whole month or two, and then after that they all got fucking fired. So
About the future a little bit. So there is at least one more major update.
but the again, like with those trees in Velgard, the fighter trees, and this is what I said. I think I put this in my little Velgard 1 year later. They gave literally all classes, but it just really hurt the fighter and ranger classes because they didn't really have too much shit or like different abilities, but they gave everybody everything at the beginning of the game, right? To be like, oh my god, look guys, we got this. Oh my god, look, we got this. Make it like higher in a tree, right? Don't give us everything in the beginning because it seems kind of not like OP, but it just gets after a couple hours, it's like, all right, where's my next ability? And there's nothing up there. There's nothing else really higher in the tree because you got basically everything. That's why the fighter classes, warrior and rogue, just felt kind of plain. And magic, you still getting all these little cool abilities and shit in Velgard.
Coming this year that is going to bring New Game Plus, photo mode, a new weapon type, as well as the ability to change your appearance out in the world, alongside new character presets.
Yes, please, because my Val character looks so fucking chopped, bro. It's just. It's, I mean, again, like, I could have probably made it a little bit more better appeal looking, but, bro, like, oh my god, I wanted to go back so badly, man. Like, I did not think it'd look like that in the game.
Sets and just overall visual customization for things like the godlike features. So there are certainly still some modes and things to come. I think New Game Plus specifically will actually be pretty nice. But that
Yeah, and this is what I was thinking about Dungeons and Hinterberg. That's actually like an indie game. I actually enjoyed it pretty much. The only issue with that game is just it gave me motion sickness. Gave me motion sickness and like some other things I can't like describe or like really remember, but it's a pretty solid little indie. You should check it out. But yeah, I really New Game Plus, like I would go back, man. Yeah. I mean, like I got other games to play, but like this would be something that'd be, on the side. Like, okay, I'll put in like an hour, like a couple hours a week, maybe like 1 hour a week, maybe like a couple hours a month type shit. In nightmare mode and shit, So yeah, definitely want them to do that. That I definitely probably come back. Possibly. I mean, mainly just for the combat, obviously, but
That is
yeah.
what Obsidian has currently committed to. Now, there still hasn't been any word of DLC. And I'm not really especially hopeful that it's actually going to get any, mind you. I feel like if it was, they
No.
probably would have said something by
Yeah.
now. So I wouldn't say it's impossible by any means, but it would certainly be unexpected at this juncture, which I do think is a bit of a shame, in the sense that I think one thing this game would really benefit from is more expansions on, what you can do, more content, things like that. And that's obviously something like DLC-sized content updates would actually be able to bring. So to sort of wrap this...
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, when I think about it, at first I was like, DLC? For me, right, this is what this game felt like. And there's a reason why they had like 3 games come out this year. Grounded was more of like a demo, or like preview, but it's basically the full game. Yeah, they had like 2-3 games come out this year. Grounded 2, Outer Worlds, Avowed. And here's my thing. I feel like they put like half effort into this game. Or not as much. It's like they don't really have like love for the game, right? They just, it's just like a stepping stone, like, all right, what's next? There we go. Let's move on to the next fucking thing as quickly as possible, right? And so there's like a lot of, especially with the companion stories and like shit like that. And just overall, like, some things feel a little half-ass. That's how I feel about this game, right? Not superly, right? But because it's like in the Pillars universe, so if it wasn't, then it definitely it'd be a little bit more visible without that overall lore and shit. But yeah, that's how I feel. But Avowed, I mean, it's a good game. I mean, it's fine. I wouldn't go over a 7 out of 10 because, again, like the shit I mentioned and like other things, like I can't remember. It's been a second, but yeah. Tuh. But DLC, I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't, yeah, especially with New Game Plus. Like, again, like I'll go back and play it if it has New Game Plus. Because I was kind of already thinking about it with the abilities. I was like, okay, ooh, let me check that out. But just one thing I don't really care for is just the story of the world, like not the lore. Like the lore is really good, but just the story, just like meh. It's just like it's meh. Not terrible, but it's just some of the shit that happens. Oof. But DLC, I'm not against it completely. I think it'd be pretty cool. I mean, it depends what they do.
Video up, overall, I would say Avowed is steadily getting better via a host of free updates that have added, much requested features to the game and just sort of slowly built on that initial base. And while I don't think any of these individual updates are particularly revolutionary or bound to change anyone's mind you, I do still think they are good updates. But I think at this point, the only thing that would likely change people's mind is something like a DLC that was just incredibly good. And given how they haven't said anything on that front, I think it would be safe to assume that that is unlikely. So with all of that said, I certainly hope you enjoyed this update on Avowed, but by all means, let me know what you think about this down in the comment section below, which of course means to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.
Wisdom. Oh, and I will say, yeah, I'm just, now all my memories are coming into the game. There's only like 3 different wands in the game if you're a mage. Of course, you don't have to use a wand. You can use like a grimoire and shit, but like wands, if you want to use like specifically wands, there's only like 3 different wands in the game. There's like no variety with that, you know. And I'm remembering the crafting bullshit where there wasn't like enough resources in the world for you to like craft and like make new weapons and shit, because you'd want to craft your weapons instead of like buying them in the game for sure, because that's what the game is all about mainly in terms of that. But they don't give you enough like resources and supplies, so like that first area in the game, pretty goddamn somewhat difficult. But as soon as you get to the next area, oh my god, like that the difficulty spike. It reminds me of Tainted Grail. Tainted Grail is actually the worst in that aspect. Or maybe they might be on the same level, but yeah, I mean, like, definitely, just like, there's just shit like that, like, just tiny little things that add up for it to be like a 6 or 7 type of game. Right? So, but overall, like, I hope I really want them to add new weapons for sure. Like, not even as a DLC. They're just adding new weapons, man. Like, a little bit more variety, especially with the wands, because that shit is just... I feel like it's somewhat unacceptable because I'm waiting to get a new wand and just like nothing happened. I was like, what the fuck, bro? You know, so overall, yeah, I mean, New Game Plus, I'll probably hop back in. But I mean, I probably won't until like late next year, right? Because it just some issues, man. Like I want to stay away. Once again, studios are teaching us that the best way to play their game is to wait a year and play it when it's patched up, feature complete. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because it was on a Discord, and somebody was telling me about this one game on Steam. I think it was like $30. It's they said it wasn't like Skyrim, it was like some other game. But I mean, Tainted Grail PTSD flashbacks. Like you definitely should play it like a couple months after the game came out. So yeah, definitely with Avowed. If you haven't played it yet, I say you could probably hop in now. It might be a better experience. I hopped in like when they added in extra chests in the world for you to have more supplies, because you run out of supplies in the world. Like nothing respawns in the world. Like once you take it, it's gone. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. But yeah, I should make my own video. I'm just yapping over this one. But yeah, I pretty much agree with what he says mostly. Yeah, solid vid. What do you think about Avowed? You like Avowed? Did you play Avowed? Let me know below. Like, comment, subscribe, dude.
Shot at a black man and took his shoes. Customized my AR like a Black Ops 2. Just scammed a white kid out of some Gorilla Glue. I don't wanna fuck this bitch, she smell like poo-poo.